Boom! What's going on, guys? Welcome to another bill search video. Hopefully we'll find something worth more than face value, or at least collectible. Let's just jump right into it. Series 2013 $5 note. Post the early 2000s redesign, nothing in the serial number. This one's really beat up as well. I like to keep an eye out around the repetitious fives, the other anti-counterfeiting measures, and then, although my light on my camera makes it look a different tone, look around all the intricate detail points. Sometimes you'll get some ink issues. 2021 series, same dealio. Also, where the Great Seal is depicted in the back here, sometimes you can get some issues with kind of wet ink transfer and stuff like that to other notes. In this case, it would be on the reverse. This isn't it. But also, you can see issues with ink in other areas. All right, go a little bit quicker. I love $5 notes. We'll see the new designs coming out over the next years to come, starting with the $10 bill. 2021 series, nothing in the serial number. Printed really nicely. Keep an eye out around the seal on the back. 2013. 2013 was full of star notes. Also, 2013B star notes have the possibility of being duplicates. Those were accidentally printed twice at two different locations. So, although star notes in general aren't going to command like a massive face value, or premium over face value, sorry, those ones actually do have a little bit more than that since they are duplicates. Nothing going on there. 2021 series. People have asked, oh, I think I have a duplicate, or I have a duplicate, or whatever. How can I get in contact with somebody? There is a Project 2013B, I think is what it's called. That's a website that does that. But you can also post to my community tab, and maybe other people can point you in the right direction. Nothing going on there. Nothing crazy. Last couple of bill searches were a bust, so, nothing to call home about on those. I did find a good little kind of repeater note in one of them maybe a week or two ago, so I was kind of psyched about that. This one's got some 3s, some 4s, some 6s, but not enough repetition for me. It's also been water damaged at some point. A little bit of a funky print on this serial number on the 6. Oh, never mind. Now that I look at it, it's just a little excess ink. Unless it's like a blob on there, it's actually filled in, or it's missing a part, like conversely, missing a part of the serial number, then that's not really anything that's going to command a huge premium. Nothing crazy. Kind of like I was going to say there's a shift here, but it's not enough for me to get excited about. Keep an eye out, though. 4 shifts in the seals and serial numbers. Usually they'll coincide together, so you will see the same shift in the seal and the serial numbers. They are printed at the same part of the printing process, so I think that has to do with it, of course. But also, keep an eye out for just overall ink issues around those areas. Really beat up $1 bill, 2017 series. Somebody pinned it to their board at some point. Nothing to see on the back with all that damage. And some 4s, some 0s, nothing crazy. A little bit of a stuck digit on that 9, just tiny. Unless they're really sitting up or down, I wouldn't call them collectible. And nothing going on there. Lots of 1s. Nothing on the back. Hey, little star note action, 2017. I don't see as many 2017 star notes, but you can hey, now that I'm looking at it, it's like an almost date note if there was 31 days in February. So, February 31st, 2024 would have been cool if that was a date. But keep an eye out for date notes. Tell me if you would keep this. I'm going to keep it because it's a star note. Speaking of star notes, a few people have messaged me through email, showed me some really nice filled-in stars on their star notes. And now that I'm looking at this one, you can see there's a tiny bit of stray ink right above there. So technically, it's a little bit of an error. But unless it's a blob, so to speak, a larger, more dramatic smear, in most cases, it's not going to command anything over face value. This one's not a fancy serial number since that's not an actual date. And but it being a replacement note, a star note's kind of cool. The condition leaves a lot to be desired, so it wouldn't be grade worthy in my opinion. But I do collect star notes. It's only $1, so I'll set it aside to go in my little side bin of rainy day money star notes. You know, worst case, eventually I need to buy like a 1/18th of a canned soda, and I'll pull this dollar out and use it for that. Other than that, really beat up, back of the note. Nothing jumping out but some folds and damage, so I'll set it aside for the star note action, but you can see this thing's seen its day. 2021 funky printed 3. If it was a little further off, you can go to my website, varietyerrors.com. You can go to my currency collection stuff. Now that I'm looking at it, might be this fold. But even in some cases, you'll see other digits than just the ends, up or down as a stuck digit, odometer bill, whatever you want to refer to it as. But they have to be pretty dramatic to command a premium. So there's a couple websites, including mine, that have a nice little infographic that kind of shows, you know, percent of being all screwy, where it's going to start commanding a value. Kind of a double year note, 1772, 1598. I'm not going to hold on to it for that, but neat. If it were a tombstone note, where it's kind of the days that someone was alive or their lifespan, those are kind of neat. Or if they're interesting historical dates, like war dates or things of that nature, whatever, big events over the span of a couple years, then I think those double year notes would be worth holding on to. But in the case of this 20, not so much. Now keep an eye out around the depiction of the White House on the back. White House is really beautiful as far as the whole surrounding area, the White House lawn and stuff. But speaking of which, on the sides of these trees, sometimes you'll get some funky print. You can see a little excessive ink coming through from the front, so keep an eye out for that. Nothing going on there. Last few digits, last few banknotes. And then I hope you guys can jump into looking through your pocket change, see if you can find anything that's really collectible. I don't see anything too crazy. We have a little star note. Find for this one. Last 16 bucks. Some 3s, some 9s. Nothing jumping out. Kind of shifted, kind of funky, misaligned print, but not enough. Unless it's off the edges like a miscut, or it's misaligned almost all the way to the edge, then they don't really command an extra value to them. Nothing on the front. We'll see $10 bills, new design coming up supposedly this year, 2025, but I'm expecting delays maybe in seeing the finalized design concepts, and that's all they'll be, I think. They'll be concepts, and then they'll still have to really finalize the thing. But they are supposedly releasing it towards the end of this year. Nothing jumping out, but this 5 was the nicest one in the whole dang bill search, other than this little roll right here on the corner. Things in pretty good condition. So if it was collectible, that would have been great condition-wise. The rest of them, people used for tissue paper. Speaking of tissue paper, a really beat-up, durability lost $1 star note. I'll look it up. I'll put in the description in a pinned comment anything cool about the star note. If it has a short print run or something like that, that would make it really valuable. But otherwise, I love me some star notes. I hold on to every one of them. Let me know in the comments, wherever they are, a little comment thing. Let me know what you've been coming across in your collectible searches lately. And let me know what you want to see in the upcoming videos on coins, collectibles, and currency. I will make that for you. But otherwise, I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.